welcome to our podcast on GuideTechs.
It's interesting the fact that we're actually doing a podcast right in the middle of the event. That's something I've never experienced.
Well, welcome to Spire.
Yeah, indeed.
It's really nice to. How was the exhibition for you so far?
It's been really good. This is actually my first day at North Star. Yesterday I was at GuideTechs. GuideTechs is massive. The halls are like cities.
Oh, I heard, yeah.
It felt like a city. You kept walking around and at some point you get lost. That's how massive it was. But it was very interesting because you come across some really interesting types of businesses. Like I saw a section for gaming and you find these holograms walking towards you and they're speaking to you. And I was like,
wow,
oh my God.
That's amazing. Very inspiring.
Indeed. Especially when you hear the entrepreneur stories and how they started their businesses or leaving their jobs and pursuing their goal. It was very interesting to hear those stories. Like some people came from nowhere and they just decided, you know what, I'm going to start my own business. I'm going to take this leap and, you know.
That's bold. That's really bold.
Very, indeed.
Every time young people approaches me and say, I want to start my own business, first thing what I ask them, are you really sure? You will really need a lot of persistence and determination to get it done because it's really hard. Well, about my story, I'm really an entrepreneur. I really cannot do anything else than being an entrepreneur.
Nice.
I think it's a family thing. All my grandparents were entrepreneurs. My great-great-grandmother, she was a widow and she was left with 3 quite big companies and she was able to manage it all the way to the First World War and also partially the Second World War. Well, about my story, I founded Spire Solutions 1.5 years back. It's actually a spin-off of a previous company I had that was in IT. We created a low-code software platform. The business model was not very successful, so we were really struggling. And then we had an opportunity with a really big retail brand, Nike.
Wow.
That was really a great opportunity. We lost KLM during the first COVID pandemic. Nobody was flying at that moment, right? You were not allowed to fly.
Definitely.
So they were in trouble. They got some support of the Dutch state on the condition that they cut costs, and we were on the list, so we lost that client. I had to call my buddy Nishant, our chief technical officer. You just met him, right? And I said, okay, we have now 17 developers. We need to lay off at least 12 and keep the core. But I was not able to pay for the 12 nor the 5. This was very brutal, honest.
Tough story,
yeah.
Tough way to start.
But we overcome this situation. And then what happened? That door closed and the Nike door opened. It's a really fun story. But
you never know how it just...
It's still one of our biggest clients. And we came to new insights for that client. They are really very demanding client, to be frank. And I understood.
Nike.
Yeah, it's Nike. Yeah. And it makes sense. And we had to change our act and we put it together. And this was really very successful. So we were able to tell the story in a much better way. And here we are with actually what we are doing. We are providing software solution to revolutionize completely your business. So we have a 5-step program. You start with Spire Essentials, flagship product, and you can compose it with building blocks for CRM, HRM, payrolling. In very challenging project management situations, we have really the go-to platform. I'm really convinced about that. And what you see from order intake to checkout invoice, you can manage it in one system. All the data will be in one system. And if you have a need for more building blocks, more features, we will put it on top of the Spire Essential system so you can tailor it to your taste. And once you have the system, we migrate the data from the existing systems, so that are called legacy systems, so the old dated systems. We migrate, we help to optimize the processes because you can go from step A to B in one step instead of 10 steps, syncing everything with Excel.
Seamless.
And then we help with agile methodology, so we bring complete new mindset so you can operate your business in a more agile way. And I hear the story of one client. He said, we are doing projects one by one, or we were doing projects one by one because we were not able to manage it otherwise. And now they are doing simultaneously multiple projects. So the efficiency and also the effectivity and the cost of failure, everything improved a lot.
Efficiency, just much more efficient.
Oh, wait. Yeah, and more fun to work with the systems. Much more aligned with clients, with the people in staff or production. And it's really amazing what we are accomplishing right now. And now we are making some POCs with artificial intelligence.
Nice.
So what I just told you, once they start using the system, they are also training the system and we can optimize planning and also we can make calculations for future projects. And engineers can take maybe 1,000 hours and we can just render it with AI in 1 minute.
Wow.
So it's a huge game changer.
AI is the game changer. Yeah,
Oh,
it's like
for sure.
the world is moving slowly. It's like, I don't want to say replacing job. I came across a startup that built AI employees. That was pretty insane.
Yeah.
When he was like, yeah, we can get you a marketing manager who who's an AI version of a marketing manager, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, but you're letting
Yeah.
people. It was interesting concept. I was like, you're letting people lose their jobs, you know?
Yeah, we have these discussions also in this revolution,
crazy.
right? But people didn't lose jobs. When innovation is entering the market space,
You learn.
You learn. It will also create new jobs. The same will be for artificial
Yeah,
intelligence.
your way, I see your way is like a tool to be more efficient at work.
Yeah.
That guy's concept really brilliant, and he has massive clients that he's working for. I was like, okay, and he gave me the same perspective. He's like, yeah, you know, right, when innovation comes into the world, you always find a way to adapt and learn something new, and the AI won't be 100% accurate. That's why it needs a bit of human intervention. So yeah, I just like, for me, I use AI at work, so why not to help me with my presentations or a bit
Yeah.
with constructing some work, any strategy related work, but I use it as a tool, not as to do my job. And obviously now you can tell if someone's using AI.
It is a
Like
tool.
you can you can see the words and the vocabulary being used.
It is actually a tool. Well, the way I like to explain it to our clients is engineers and salespeople. Those are the guys we help the most. Maybe also dispatchers and guys that are doing production planning. But
Yeah.
they have a tool at hand. They can then do what they like best: solving problems, selling the product,
Help.
operating the company with a lot of help. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's coming to the marketplace with
Nice.
a rapid speed. It's
Nice.
really, really fast.
I like this.
So, George, we just met and we had a really engaged conversation. It's very rare that I experience people with your energy and the way you're explaining things. It's really nice. And I was very impressed. Can you tell me a little bit about your background?
Yeah, definitely. Well, the background is basically I majored in marketing. Back in Lebanon, where I'm from, I was working at a diner as a waiter. And there I started learning about my work ethic, because being on time at work, going the extra mile, dealing with clients in the business world is tough, but try dealing with a client who's hungry. That's like a whole different ballpark. That's a whole different game. When
really
someone's
fun to
angry,
put
it's
it.
like, listen, I'm not going to
Yeah.
eat this piece of chicken unless you get me sauce. And you're
Yeah.
like really quick, so very responsive. You have to be on time. All these things.
Hospitality is really good.
It is.
Learning school, isn't it?
Really good learning
Yeah.
school. I recommend that if someone can't find a corporate job probably during their university days, definitely go in the hospitality field. You're going to learn a lot. And you start learning people's body language, their face, if they're frustrated, if they're looking around means they need something. So it really helps you understand human behavior.
Yeah.
So working there, I managed to make it to become like a assistant branch manager. So I took on more responsibilities, helping lead the team on the floor. I mean, it's not in the business world, but there's elements that you can apply in the business world.
For sure.
So due to the economic recession in Lebanon, I stopped education for a while. I was supposed to play semi-pro football in Canada, but that didn't work out because it was during COVID. So I had an agent from France, and I was supposed to go continue my studies in Canada and play football there for the university. But unfortunately, due to COVID, my visa was refused. But then another opportunity popped up. So just like you
It's
said,
like that, right?
like
One
it's
door closes,
crazy.
the
It's
other
like
door opens.
one door closes, the other door opens.
Yeah.
So the other door open for me was SaaS company from Canada, funny enough, offered me a job as a sales rep, a company that provides loyalty solutions, loyalty and marketing solutions to companies. So I started off there working how to be a sales rep. It was more in the corporate side. So I'm just learning how to construct my emails properly, how to do those cold calls better, how to conduct demos in a better manner. So I just kept persevering. I finished my education in Lebanon. I went to Jordan. I traveled to Jordan for 10 months. And it was a really great learning experience.
What made you decide to travel through Jordan?
So in perspective, Lebanon is a wonderful country and we love our family,
Yeah.
but due to the situation,
It's sour there,
all
right?
young people just
Yeah.
needed to leave in order to get on a stepping stone to grow.
Yeah.
So Jordan was that opportunity for me. I did come back after Jordan. It was disappointing, but I went, I pushed, I learned, and I got introduced to the startup environment there. So I used to go tell a friend of mine, I met him at a bar, and he tells me I have a cloud kitchen business. He was teaching me about his concept, and he was still raising funds. So I really got intrigued. And alongside my job in the evening, I was working for his business, and I told him, listen, I want to do this for free because I want to learn. So I just kept learning, and it was part of the hospitality field
Wow.
because kitchens are involved,
Yeah.
food is involved. So we used my experience to help basically the operations element in the kitchens to execute the orders perfectly, delivered properly to the homes of the people that order the food. And I understood the startup lingo,
Yeah.
Series A, Series B, angel investors, funds. I'm like, what the
We
hell
are
is
still
this?
struggling with that.
I'm
but,
still learning,
yeah.
trying to differentiate, definitely. So
Yeah.
then it was time to go back.
Yeah.
My contract was done in Jordan. Came back to Lebanon, settled down for a while, and then I just applied again to Astrolabs through the website because Astrolabs was intriguing for me. I saw that we have like areas to help startups, and I really like the environment. You know that.
Astrolab, you have to tell, is a company established here in Dubai, right?
Yes, we
Yeah.
are based in UAE, correct?
What's the difference between Dubai and UAE?
So Dubai is a city in UAE.
All right.
So United Arab Emirates.
Yeah.
And you know, in United Arab Emirates, you have Dubai, you have Abu Dhabi, you have Sharjah. So, but I know it's like even for me,
Yeah.
at first like Dubai, I just labeled it as Dubai. There wasn't UAE, you know. But yeah, there is that.
So the country is called UAE?
Yeah, United Arab Emirates.
Yeah.
Dubai is where we are now.
Yeah.
So just imagine Netherlands and then Amsterdam. It's just an example.
Yeah, okay. So the Netherlands is then UAE.
UAE is Amsterdam. Sorry,
I think
Dubai
yeah,
is
Dubai. Yeah, well, it's still
So,
confusing.
yeah.
But I'm happy that you were able to clarify. Now I understand.
Yeah, now
I hope
they
that
know.
listeners also understand now
Yeah,
what
yeah.
the difference is between UAE and Dubai.
Indeed. But we cleared that off. So I applied to Astrolab and I love that environment, the startup environment where you're just hustling, working hard, trying to develop ideas. And it's like a place where you can really put in all the risk, or I wouldn't say risk, but you would try to test things and learn new things. And sometimes it just blows up. Your business grows exponentially. You make an impact on the business with every bit you do. So gladly I got the opportunity. I arrived to Astrolabs here. One shout out to Astrolabs. What an environment. Amazing workplace. We have multiple units. If I were to summarize Astrolab, we're known to be tech ecosystem builders. We are a launch pad for startups, homegrown, or we help expanding global players to come into these markets. Those markets meaning UAE or Saudi Arabia. So basically,
Is there a kind of connection between Saudi Arabia and UAE?
the connection, I wouldn't say like a clear connection. They're both part of the same region, but one connection is those are the largest market that there is available.
All right.
For your business to scale.
Yeah.
And
So it's a regional part.
yeah, it's a
in that
regional
way.
part.
Yeah.
So GCC, the
Yeah.
Gulf region.
Is it Gulf region sort of related to like how we are managing the EU in the Europe?
Something similar, indeed.
All right.
So let's say EU, you have Netherlands, Belgium, UK, not anymore, sort of. But here in the Gulf region, so you have Kuwait, Qatar, UAE, Saudi Arabia. Those are the countries that are considered part of the GCC region. So two dominating ones are Saudi Arabia and UAE. So we're present in both markets. I work for the KSA expansion team. We help companies set up their presence successfully in Saudi Arabia. Today, me and you were introduced, and it was for the purpose of probably setting you up in the UAE. So you have a good footprint here,
Yeah.
develop here, do some business development activities, and then just scale yourself within the MENA region, not just around Europe. So
This was really funny because
Yeah.
I was talking to the guys tonight when we came back from the exhibition. I said I really had a nice chat with a guy called Philip. He has a German name, so I was
Okay.
addressing him in German.
In German.
And we were talking German for a while, and he said, I'm really excited about what Spire is doing. We really want to invest in Spire, but there is one constraint: you need to do business in Dubai, and we are not conducting business in Dubai.
yeah,
So I was talking to one of the neighbors. She is a lady, her name is Fatima, a really
Okay.
nice lady. She also lived in Canada, by the way.
okay,
So there's a connection with you. But she explained to me, she's from Dubai. She lives in Dubai
Okay.
now. And she's raised in Dubai. And so I was really in search. And then you came after that. When I came back from Fatima, I talked to you about the
Interesting.
same topic. So
Interesting.
I'm really open for opportunities.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think you should. When you establish a presence in this part of the region,
Yeah.
your business will grow exponentially. And it's true, what you're seeing now is actually happening. Meaning, if businesses want to get investments in this part of the region, or startups, I should say, they need to show a bit of effort that they're coming into the region. Like speaking to potential investors all the way from Netherlands, but they're in the UAE, they'd rather have you here and invest in you, especially when doing business. So UAE is a bit more open to remote business being done without your company being licensed. However, in Saudi Arabia, the wave is moving to, okay, if your company is not licensed in KSA, we won't be able to do business with you. We'd prefer to work with a business that's actually present.
So you must be licensed in the UAE or
in
Saudi?
Saudi.
All
But
right.
I recommend from your start, based on our discussions that we had just
Yeah,
earlier,
yeah.
I think UAE is a right market for you to enter, I think, at the moment. And then you can just scale from there, step by step. So yeah, that's pretty much it. At Astrolab, to let you know a bit more, so we do have the expansion units, but we also have two other elements where we do program. We work with large conglomerates and governmental entities to help them accelerate their company, their team, their sector. In a sense where, for example, we did accelerator program for Majd Al Futtaim here, helping companies, in the retail industry to accelerate. We were basically built that accelerator for them to qualify for being part of Majd Al Futtaim's retail group, stuff like that. So
It's
yeah.
really funny because this as principle I see all over. Also here at Guytex. When we signed up, there is a concierge program I was not aware of. And
Yeah.
the concierge program was setting up meetings with investors we can talk to.
Nice.
And then if they are interested, we can send them the pitch deck. Sometimes we are too small, too early, and they say you can reach out to this guy, or you should do this
Good
and that.
networking.
Like networking, yeah,
Yeah.
big time. I will connect you today with the guy in Netherlands. His name is Reinier. You should talk to him. And within 1 hour, I established a connection with Reinier. That's really amazing. So that is the concierge, what we have here. And the gentleman, Philip, that I was talking about,
Yeah.
that I spoke last night, or actually at the end of the day, he said, we have a team of 14.
Okay.
7 are looking for the opportunities where we can invest in. We like to see it leveraged with other investors. But once we make the commitment and the investment, we have another team that is the other 7 guys.
Okay.
And those folks are really trying to engage the ecosystem
Nice.
that we have in our portfolio.
Nice.
And we know the direct number of the CEO of the big companies. But we have a body, it's called RVO.
Okay.
They are doing the same actually. And they are very approachable, but it's a complete different scale.
Different
here than
story.
there. Yeah.
Exactly.
And reluctant investment, they do only ticket to 250,000, maybe to 7 million, but it's very, very,
Very
rare.
rare.
And the ecosystem in the Netherlands for startup is really bad. When you compare with, for example, Dubai. Also, I did a podcast yesterday with a gentleman from the Netherlands. His name is Niels.
Okay.
And he said, I live in Slovenia right now, and the ecosystem for startups in Slovenia is really way better. People really invest. Angel capital, 25,000 here, 50,000 there, maybe 100. But they really do it. They just give it a shot. Here's the cash.
I can only imagine. And that's why we've expanded over 1,000 companies between UAE and KSA.
In Astrolabs,
In Astrolabs.
1,000.
1,000.
More than 1,000.
More than 1,000.
That's really an amazing number.
And I'm getting goosebumps just talking about this. From 25 different countries: Bosnia, India, Netherlands, China, Singapore. Helping them, establish their footprint and raise funds and get connected with the right people at the right time. That's the thing. It's
And
just
immediately at a global scale, right? Because what you're telling, this ecosystem is India, Singapore, Pakistan, China. We see guys from the entire planet.
Exactly. And it just keeps growing and growing and growing because that's what the wave is now. It's like you have a time window and that's time to jump through, So
I agree.
I guess, my recommendation is for those companies back there in Netherlands and areas in Europe that seem to find it difficult to actually scale their business quicker. I think it would be very decent for them to just take a peek at what you had a glimpse today or this week. Random people.
We just took the opportunity and I'm really impressed. We should really evaluate this
Keyword.
and see this as an opportunity.
Keyword, took the opportunity.
Yeah.
That's what is needed. Take the opportunity. You don't have to throw millions of dollars at this.
No,
Take
make
the
a
opportunity.
baby step.
Make a baby step. Do a calculated risk. And then you never know. You might come across individuals that could change the road for your organization massively.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's mainly it.
I also noticed that Saudi Arabia really jumping on this also.
Yes.
They are allocating 200 billion US dollar to boost the ecosystem, startup ecosystem and innovation system and AI and healthcare and data centers in Saudi. Is this a supercharger for the Dubai region or is it a little bit more competitive?
It's a little more competitive,
All right.
I would say. Saudi Arabia is the largest market there is now, the fastest growing market there is now, and then the tech sector is just growing exponentially because there is a lack of tech and they need that. They would like to digitize almost everything that goes on in the country. You remember when Dubai, maybe if you're familiar with it, back then it was pretty empty, but now it's
Pretty huge city.
yeah?
Yeah.
Imagine that time for Saudi now, but it's more on steroids.
Yeah.
So it's going to just fly from here. In terms of the investments and startups and the way the ecosystem works there, EU strictly focus on companies looking to set up in Saudi. They want you to establish your presence there and they'll invest in you and they'll help you with whatever you need. There are a lot of, I would say, governmental or massive private sector activities or movements that support the startup ecosystem to help them flourish, to help them raise funds, to help them do good business development. That's where they grow their business. So, but the thing is about Saudi Arabia is that the process to make a proper footprint there is a hassle. Still, we have a team. We have nearly 30 to 40 team members in Riyadh. We do the process. You have 11 ministries involved in setting up your company.
Wow.
The process takes 3 to 4 months to set up your company.
Really?
Yeah, it's like
That's a lot of work.
it's a lot of work, definitely. And to be qualified as a startup, to be eligible as a startup to enter that market, one of the key documents you need to carry with you is an endorsement letter from a VC. So let's say today Spire does not have any funds raised previously, right? And they want to come into Saudi. They'll tell you, sorry, you're not eligible to come in as a startup. We need an endorsement letter from a VC. We want to see that you're backed, financially backed, in order to be able to sustain and stay within the kingdom. We don't want companies to come in and close down. We want companies to come in and just grow exponentially in our country. That's their focus. So that's what it's like now in Saudi.
Well, that's for a good reason then. But they want to push out the risk probably.
Definitely.
And then you will get a complete different dynamics. I don't think it's a smart move to put a threshold because what we know from startups, most of the startups fail, right? I think 50, 90%, 90% fail. But the one that succeed can do really, really well.
Yeah,
There are
they do.
unicorns. In AI, there was one company evaluated for more than 50 billion euro. And they employ maybe a few dozen people.
Yeah.
That's it. So yeah.
Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss.
Sometimes you hit, sometimes you lose. Yeah. That's
Yeah, so, but yeah, I think it was really nice meeting you today.
Yeah.
I look forward to connecting.
It's really great talking
that
to you,
front.
man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.